Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to discuss a trailer for a movie. Not the actual movie itself, because the movie isn't released until the 15th of this month. And this is going to be spoiler-laden. So, anyone who hasn't seen the trailer, or has any intention of seeing the movie Book of Eli, and you don't want to have the ideas spoiled for you, stop watching this video now. Otherwise, keep watching and you'll hear me talk about this. Now, I've loved the movie Mad Max. I loved it back when I saw it the first time and it was in badly dubbed American accent. I loved it when I saw it for the first time with Mel Gibson's actual voice. I fell in love with Road Warrior, and I kind of like the sequel, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. But I've been waiting decades to see a good quality film based in America in the same vein as Mad Max and Road Warrior. And we had lots and lots of cheap knockoffs because of those movies that were made, that were set here in the United States. And there have been some kind of decent, post-apocalyptic films, like Escape from New York is a great one, though it's a little somewhat limited if it only takes place in the city. Though it has a lovely alternate history of our future America, or at this point now, past America. But I've been waiting desperately to see a good Mad Max version set here in America. And I had some really high hopes when I first heard about the Book of Eli. Denzel Washington, not only is he a great actor, but he's a big name actor, attached to a post-apocalyptic film set 30-something years in the future. I was psyched. I'm like, finally, it's here. Then I saw the trailer. And the trailer was okay. It looked like it was going to have some decent butt kicking, so I was kind of happy about that. Then I began to dig around and became to realize something. That the Book of Eli isn't just a title. It refers to a specific book. And not just any book. It refers to the Christian Bible. Now, the premise of the Book of Eli is that the main character, played by Denzel Washington, has in his possession the last copy of the Bible. He's carrying it around, and he's going to use it in some way to help found a new society that will rebuild America and save the human species, yada, yada, yada. You get the point. And there are bad guys who want the book to use it for their own ends. Funny how that is. Some people want to use a holy text for good things, some people want to use a holy text for bad things. Kind of like our world, eh? And that's where I lost interest in the film. Because it stopped being a post-apocalyptic story, a genre that I've liked, and I was looking forward to that, something in the same vein as Mad Max and Road Warrior, and it became a fairy tale. Because only in a fairy tale, even a future fairy tale, can you make me believe that there is one copy of the Bible left in America. Now, I would hazard a guess that within the square mile that I live in right here, centered on my apartment building, there are probably 1,000 copies of the Christian Bible. And then there's going to be every church, every library, every hotel, and a good number of homes. I'm not Christian, and I've got copies of the Quran, the Book of Mormon, and the King James Bible in my house. None of these are holy books I use, but I have them around as reference. And I imagine that most people who are Christian have at least a copy of some version of the Bible in their house. And there are some 200 plus versions of the Christian Bible in the world. Big universities and things are going to have multiple copies of every one of these, probably. And then, of course, you have synagogues, which are going to have the Old Testament, at least, in the form of the Talmud. So, you can't make me believe that there's one copy of this in the whole world and have it be based on the real world. It becomes a fairy tale, like Waterworld was. You can't see Waterworld as a post-apocalyptic movie. It made no sense. There isn't enough ice on the planet to raise the water level in our world that high. You have to see it as nothing but a metaphor, a fairy tale. And as that, it's not a bad movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But if you try looking at it through the lens of any kind of realism, it makes absolutely no sense. And that's what's happened for my interest in the Book of Eli. I simply have no desire to see it now. Now, eventually, I'll probably find a copy cheap on DVD, and I'll probably pick it up. Because I would like to see Denzel Washington kick some buns. Because he is the perfect age, he's got that nice weathered look to his face, he's got the chops to do any kind of acting job he wants to. And the fact that he was willing to take on this role makes me really happy. I'm glad that he's still stretching himself. But the storyline is just absurd to me. I can't buy it. They lost me at the get-go. And that's a real pity to me, because I love post-apocalyptic settings. I own lots of post-apocalyptic setting role-playing games. I own almost every one that I've ever laid my eyes on. Now, I've heard of others online and such that I don't own, but that's only an eventuality, because eventually I'll get my grubby little hands on them. I like to add them to my collection. Some are good, some are bad, but I always take something away from them. Now, there are some films in this genre that I don't have any interest in, like The Road. Highly acclaimed, based on a highly acclaimed book, and frankly, it's too realistic. It's too much set in our world. I am going to be too easily able to project myself into that, and frankly, it's just going to depress the crap out of me. So, I'll avoid that. Kind of like Zombieland. I have a thing about zombies, I don't want to watch it. Even if it is a post-apocalyptic movie, I'll skip it. Even if it's a comedy. I don't need the nightmare fuel, thanks. But I had hopes in the Book of Eli, and now I don't. I'm kind of bummed about this. So, like I said, I like Denzel Washington. Man on Fire, he was awesome in that movie. I highly recommend Man on Fire. Great revenge flick. Well, not to mention it has some wonderful Christian subtext in the whole idea of what his character is doing about redemption and sacrifice. So, I don't know anybody else out there who was looking forward to the Book of Eli. I hope I haven't spoiled it for you. I hope you can enjoy the film. They lost me when they threw something in there that just made absolutely no sense.